Okay, so straightforward going to my talk. I just wanted to give a little bit also, even though it is a mid-cap section, I just wanted to give a little few slides or few videos related to how to conduct a minimal invasive surgery for the regular pump cases also like ASDs and all. So as everyone will agree that it's not really minimal invasive, it is a minimal access, which in the last few meetings many people have been telling. So as of my practice, I started quite some time back, and the length of incision is one thing which many people say that we should have a 5 centimeter incision, 4 centimeter incision. But most of the time, especially in our, when we have been working where we have limited resources and our corporate hospitals don't support us with the infrastructure like the high-end instruments. So what we have been doing is we have been taking a little larger incision and slowly getting down on the incision size depending on how your case is or what are the types of surgery. So one thing is important, like many people have been, many speakers have been telling, that you should have your incision at a non-accessible or a place where it is not obviously visible. Something like the transaxillary incision is a better option other than the one which is in the anterior, like right anterior thoracotomy. And you should not have longer clamp time or CPB time, and end result should be comparable to the standard operation. That is the operation which we do on sternotomy. Mid-cap, when we are doing for multiple vessels, as most of us agree that when we do for a single vessel, we have good results, but usually when we are doing multiple vessels, there is substandard graft patency, and many surgeons don't speak about it. So these are the principles which I think I will just go through, which is quite standardized. So I want to specify that most of my patients, because our patients are like with a lower BMI and they are young girls which are having very small femoral arteries, and we end up repairing the femoral arteries after we remove the cannula after the surgery. So we go through central aortic cannulation. So I would just, SVC cannulation would be regular or through the IJV depending on the requirement, and IVC cannulation can be regular through the incision or through the femoral. So these are the few things. Right lateral thoracotomy, usually my incision is roughly around 8 to 10 centimeter. For beginners it is good that you can have a very good access, and most of the times I go for a repair like mitral valve repair, so we need a little bit better access and visibility, so go for a little bigger incision. And whenever do a CABG, most of the times nowadays we get all triple vessel disease to go for minimal invasive, so I go for a little bigger incision. And this gives me proper visibility and adequate protection of the left ventricle and right ventricle, like topical cooling. And you can even use your normal long instruments which are present in your open heart sternotomy cases, and the instruments would be like a few instruments like these would be helpful. They come in different sizes, a little smaller size also, especially suitable for our Indian patients. And a clip applicators, this we could get it made through one of our Indian manufacturer. This instrument is also of a double action forceps is of very good use, especially it can reach to the depth. And then we can get these made, a pot scissors which is a little longer, sometimes like 8 inches or 9 inches, Castrovigio and others. So just going through the different videos which I'm just going to tell you, these are the CPB, like when you're going to do a mitral valve or a ASD, just have, once you have opened, you just have an access and see that you can cannulate centrally, that you have easy access to cannulate, or if you have difficulty, you are checking for the IVC cannulation also, which can be done. Then take some traction stays, one traction stay on the RA appendage, and one traction stay on the aorta, just below the area where you are going to put the purse string. So these traction stays then pull the aorta towards you, and you can, no one need to be holding it for you. You can just fix it to the drapes, and this helps you in taking the purse strings nicely. And this is the purse strings being taken. These traction stays which we take, you take a pleated stitch so that it doesn't get cut through, especially on the outer. And then you can see we can do a central cannulation. You can use a long delicate forceps to hold the stellate of the cannula and push the stellate inside and then push your cannula inside. So usually this cannulation will be on the lateral side of the outer than the standard anterior when we go through open. So you can keep the cannula a little more long inside the outer so that you have a proper position of its tip. Then you can see we can do a sinus venosus ASD with a LSVC also. You can see two cannulas coming in the one going from the RA into the coronary sinus, draining the LSVC, and another draining the IVC, and still you can perform a double patch technique for your sinus venous ASD. Then you can see even mitral valve repair. Incisions are a little bigger, always in my case, because sorry. So you can see, access to the mitral valve, the good visibility is required, especially to have your repair in the best results of the repair. So as far as going for the mid-cap, I would like to show you that we should have always be sure that our results are not compromised with the standard results. So your results of a mid-cap should be equivalent to the open case of when you're doing via sternotomy. And there are limitations that sometimes we put less grafts, sometimes less arterial grafts, difficult to go on pump, but all these should be tackled. So these are some certain principles which you have to follow. One thing is that a TE is a must, and always do a echo the previous day, because sometimes you can get surprises. The previous day you must have patient must have developed during the interval period when he was worked up and he was called for admission, and he must have developed some effusion, or he must have developed some pericarditis, so you should be knowing about it. Then Lima has to be harvested in the complete length possible. And sorry, that's a mistake. So SVG, we put a marker, and it can be pedicled and no touch technique. And don't do any fancy combinations like Lima, vein, Y, etc. And always have a Doppler to assess your graft. So now looking at this, so these are the specific type of retractors which I have, which we have designed through a local manufacturer, so which fits the common, the regular octopus or the stabilizer which we use. Now this is a IMA retractor, we can see which is also designed and which fits in larger blades also. So you can have an IMA harvest, and you can see the IMA which has been harvested is reaching almost, it can reach almost to the lower end of the LED. And this is some pericardial stays. Here also you can take the pleated valve sutures so that you can get a proper access to the aorta, which helps in doing your proximal. Now looping the aorta is one technique which helps you in getting a proper access and proper clamping of the aorta. You can use a wide tape to loop the aorta. So this is a specially designed clamp which helps you. It goes a little deep, so it doesn't slip, and it can help you for your proximals. Now you can see the visibility of the proximal punch. And once you have done a proximal, you check for the bleeding, because that is very important. Later on, if it is bleeding, it is difficult to take a stitch there. You can always use a second proximal. You can use a clamp after doing second, or you can do it at the same time. There is always space available to do a second proximal also if you want to do for the right. And then stabilizer positioning, you can see on this retractor, you can very well stabilize and you can do your Lima to LAD. And this is the Lima to LAD anastomosis. You can have a exposure almost equivalent to an open surgery, which is essential for most of the patients, for our patients. And you can see once you have done the Lima to LAD, you can do the orientation of the OM graft and size it and then do the graft. Then the OM anastomosis, which I'll not go into much details. Then finally you can check your lie is good for all the grafts. In special situations like when you want to put two grafts on the OMs, you can always use a Y, and the Y can be a little more higher, so nearer to the proximal. You can create the Y on the table and then so that there shouldn't be too much of differential flow. So this was a little lower side, but
time is up.
Yeah, and Lima harvest also is possible. Now this is a situation where we can do Lima Y, and even endarterectomy. Certain situations we need to do is a surprise sometimes happens. So that is. I want to tell that we need not have very fancy instruments to do this thing. We can usually do it with our whatever armamentarium is there in our theatre. But my advice is don't take up high risk patients, and especially where myocardial protection is crucial. And explain to the patient that always standard sternotomy is also safe in patients with diffuse disease or low EF or with multiple.
Thank you, Naresh. Thank you. Very nice presentation. What was your the access? Yeah, just one quick question.
Yeah.
Fourth space or fifth space?
Yeah, fifth space.